Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name's Craig from mansioningles.com and also from inglespodcast.com. And with me is Monica Stocker. Hi, Monica.
Hi. So I am Monica Stocker, and I'm the author of El Blog del Inglés y El Blog para Aprender Inglés. And we also have an academy that is EPAI. That is the acronym of El Blog para Aprender Inglés. Okay.
And what can people do if they go to EPAI? What can they find there?
They can find Skype lessons, also over Zoom. It doesn't really matter. You just have to send us a request, and we'll be happy to find a teacher for you.
So, and if you go to mansioningles.com, you'll find courses that are free to help you improve your English. There's a free podcast over at inglespodcast.com. And we also have paid courses that you can find on store.mansioningles.net. So if you're interested, you're welcome to check out and go and see those places. Now, this week, what are we speaking about, Monica? What's the topic of this Facebook Live today?
Vocabulary about sports and idioms also. So that's a very interesting topic for some people, like Craig. Because he loves sports.
Yes, because I look so sporty. I look like such a dynamic, energetic sports person that, of course, I love this subject. Hi, Gemma. Gemma's joined us. And Angels, hello, from Barcelona. Yeah. And from Mexico, we have Pelon de la Nación Steel. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us for this Facebook Live. And Claudia's here and Margot is here. Hello, hello, hello. It's lovely to see you all. Yeah, so we're speaking about sports. We're speaking about idioms connected to sports and some confusing words connected to sports. But let's start with some collocations because there are three main ways we could group sports. One is with go, one is with play, and one is with do. So, Monica, maybe you'd like to start by explaining which sports collocate with go?
With go, we can say go skiing, go trekking, go jogging, or go swimming. Okay. The reason why we do this, it's unknown to me. I suppose because you carry the skis, you carry something, I don't know. Well, when you go jogging, you don't carry anything, right?
Maybe it's something to do with they're very active sports and they're very dynamic, and that's why perhaps they're ing sports. So any activity that has ing just collocates with go. Go skateboarding, go rollerblading, go surfing, anything that's ing, remember it's go.
Go. And then with play
collocates with games. So any game like tennis, football, basketball, hockey, chess, all of those games you play. So not necessarily an active physical game. You could also play Monopoly. You could play, which is Monopoly in Spanish. You could play drafts. You could play cards, las cartas.
Draft.
So
I don't think many people know the word draft.
How do you say drafts in Spanish?
I think it's damas.
Damas.
Chess is ajedrez, and draft is damas. It's easier, very easy compared to chess. I remember I used to play that.
Yeah, just move in diagonals. Yeah, it's a board game.
Yes, it's a board game, un juego de mesa, a board game. So,
do.
Do. Okay, do is very easy because it's a repetitive action. So we say, do exercise, do sport, judo, karate, gymnastics, tai chi, pilates. How do you pronounce that?
I say Pilates, but I don't do it, so I don't know. But Pilates.
Some people say, because American is like Pilates is something like very strange. It's quite difficult. So yoga, do yoga. Yoga is very popular also.
Have you ever done Pilates?
No, I
Me
have
neither.
never done.
I've heard it's quite difficult.
No, there are some machines. I have a student that does it with machines, so maybe it's not so difficult if you do it with the help of machines. But it's actually, the verb is, remember that, do, to do, not to go or to play. You do exercise because it's an action that is repeating over that. So, hello, Alejandro. How are you too? I'm asking. Isabel says, I do yoga and I go hiking. Very good. I do yoga and I go hiking.
So yeah, maybe people could write in the comments box, in the chat box, what sports do you do? What do you play? And do you go skiing or go cycling or any of the ING activities? Most importantly, I think a big mistake for Spanish speakers is remembering that sports is something you do. Okay, you do sports, and you also do exercise. So remember that collocation of do sports. Hi, Francisco, who's joining us from Nicaragua. Hello.
There's a question here of Claudia. Claudia is asking, when you learn dancing, how do you say? You learn dancing. You learn dancing. Well,
yeah,
you go dancing.
You go dancing. Yeah. You go dancing on a Saturday night.
Yep. Yeah, like Craig does every weekend.
I used to.
Yes.
in my younger days, I used to go disco dancing, but not anymore. I've also been tango dancing as well. So I've done some.
Oh, that's quite
difficult. It's so difficult that I took lessons for 4 or 5 years, and I still cannot dance the tango. No, I'm terrible.
No,
we say in English, a person who can't dance has 2 left feet.
Left feet.
Do you say that in Spanish? Do you have 2 left feet? No.
No, I don't know. I know about 2 left hands also. Salsa bachata. Yeah, I learned. Claudia says I learned salsa and bachata, but I was going to ask Craig.
Yeah.
And what about flamenco? Have you ever tried?
No, I've seen flamenco dancers, and I like flamenco, but I've never tried it. I've never danced flamenco. Have you?
One time, but it was horrible because I cannot move. I don't have any rhythm. So
me neither.
I think it's kind of funny to see me dancing flamenco. And I was going to say, Hannah says to go walking. Yes, also. You go walking. So,
you go walking, go jogging.
And in ing, yeah.
Go running. Yes. All of those ing words, you go. Let's move on to look at some words connected to sport, because we can look at the difference between some of these words. For example,
wait. There's a question here that's interesting. Okay. She says, I practice workout, Mirna, but to work out is actually to do exercise. It's the same as to do exercise, right?
I practice workout. Is it correct? No. I work out. I work out at the gym.
Yeah.
I do exercise or I work out. So use the phrasal verb as a verb, to work out. And that's the problem with translating from practicar, deporte. Yeah. It's not practice. You can practice something in sport, but it means you repeat something to improve. For example, if you play tennis, maybe you're very good hitting the ball this way, but not very good hitting the ball with your backhand. So to practice your backhand is to hit the ball continually against the wall, or to head the football continually with your head. That's practicing to improve. But the collocation is do sport or work out at the gym.
I would like to emphasize that, because it's true that in Spanish we say practicar deporte, and that's why it's confusing, because in English you have 3 ways of saying it: go, play, and do. So in general, so you have to know what you're referring to. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so what's the difference between spectators and audience? Do you want to take this one, Monica?
This is an easy one. Yeah, this is an easy one because it's very similar in Spanish. Spectators es un espectador, only one person. Well, can mean many, but you can talk about one spectator. Maybe here on my Facebook Live, maybe I have only one spectator. And Craig has an audience.
an audience of one.
An audience is a group, audiencia. So this is a group. It's not only one. Okay, it can never be one. It's always many or few spectators. But it's the same in Spanish, so it's not so difficult to understand because both words, they have Latin origin, espectador y audiencia. So it's very clear. So it's not a very
Also, to add to that, another difference is that spectators watch sports and an audience watches a performance, maybe a play or an audience at the cinema. So if you're watching a football match, you are a spectator. You wouldn't say audience for sports. You'd say an audience for a concert or a play, for example.
Now that I think about it, I think it's the same in Spanish too.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It's the same. It's exactly the same because audiencia is for cinema, for television, and for football. We don't say audience, I think. We say sí, los espectadores. Also, bueno, espectadores espectadores can also be for TV, but for football, no, they have another. Somebody's going to help me from how do you say?
Help us.
Help us. How do you say? You don't say audiencia. No, I'm sure you don't say audiencia for football.
All you people from Mexico, Joel, and from Venezuela, Jesus, and from Colombia, Gloria, you know football. So what do you say in Spanish? Do you say espectadores or audiencia? In English, it's very clear. A spectator is for sport. Also,
we have maybe later somebody's going to give us an answer for that because I'm not sure how to say it for football in Spanish.
While we're waiting, let's look at three more words: court, pitch, and course. So, which sports would you connect to these three words, Monica?
Okay, court. I would connect to tennis. It can also be volleyball, basketball, squash. Okay. So these are collocations. That's why it's a little bit confusing because in Spanish we have, sometimes we do have collocations, but in this case it will be cancha or pista. No? So court would be tennis, volleyball, basketball, squash. Pitch is more British English, is for football, cricket, rugby, hockey.
Yes.
And so it's a field, also it's un campo de fútbol. I think we would say campo.
Yeah, in American English, they might probably say pitch. I hadn't thought of that before, but you're right. It's more in British English, you hear the word pitch for campo, and in American English, field, football field. Yeah.
Field. That's a word for football. Okay, and then we have course that is related to golf. No, because it's like an area of land or water used for sports events. So in Spanish would be una pista de golf. Yeah, es pista. Okay, so aficionados o hinchas. Merche says that the ones that, but they could be people that watch football.
Fans, football fans.
Yeah, but it could be people that are watching the football and they're not aficionados, they're not fans or supporters. So there must be another word.
Antonio says ground, but ground, Antonio, is the pitch and the field, but also the area where the spectators stand or sit. It's the whole thing. It's the stadium is a very grand word because very, very big successful clubs have stadiums, but if the club is quite poor, it's not very rich, you could just say it's the ground, it's the football ground. So it's the field, the grass and campo, and also the area around where people watch the game is the ground. Quick hello to Ro Portela, who confirms what you said, Monica, that espectadores para el fútbol. So, yeah. And hello to Andres, who is an alcoholic, a fan of the podcast. Thank you, Andres. Thank you for saying that. That's Andres from Colombia. And hello to everybody else who's just joined us. Sorry, I interrupted you, Monica. Carry on.
No. I think I was done with that. We can also add track. You can explain to us the word track. So what is a track? It's not there, but it's also another word that is used in a similar way, pista in Spanish, and it's used for athletics. For athletics track, and also for motor racing, and for speedway, and for motorbikes, cycling track as well. And Gemma's asking. Oh, sorry, that's not Gemma. Gemma's. Everybody's moving. Stop moving. Campo de Golf is golf course in English, Gemma. Yeah. Golf course, like
golf course.
I explain that.
Do we have any golf fans watching? I don't. I'm not a fan of golf. I think it's a boring game, to be honest. But maybe we have some.
There are many people that play golf to do business. It's related to business.
Yeah. But some people play squash to do business as well, and football perhaps, where they speak in the changing room and after the game in the bar. So yeah, any sport. But yeah, golf has a reputation of being a way to do business. Okay, let's continue then. Where are we? Referee and umpire. I'll do this. Yeah, these two words basically mean judge, juez. But we don't say judge in sports. So a judge will be the person who is the arbiter of what's happening on the field or on the pitch or on the court, who decides when there's a foul or when people are not playing within the rules. Referee is associated with football. So a football referee, a rugby referee, and umpire is associated with tennis and cricket, for example. So depending on which sport you're speaking about, the judge has a different name. So that's referee and umpire.
But umpire, isn't it the man who presides over a tennis game, and he sits on a high chair?
Yeah, sits on a really, really high chair.
Yeah, that's an umpire.
An umpire.
Sounds like empire, umpire. So it's a very strange word.
Umpire. So, yep. An interesting thing about tennis is, whereas in football you count the scores by 1-0, 2-0, etc. In tennis, it's 15 love. It's LOVE. So 0 in tennis is love. 15 love, 30 love, 40 love, etc. That's quite interesting. Golden net.
Goal and net. Goal is used for certain sports and net for others, no? But to be honest, I don't know. I know only that goal is for football because it's where you score a goal. For example, you score a goal. Meter un gol is to score a goal, and net must be for other sports that use net, like tennis. I don't know, like badminton, no. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to say this in Spanish either. Net or to go. Okay, how do you use those words in relationship?
Well, net is red. So net is for in tennis, for example. The net is what you hit the ball over. So in tennis, you have a net. In table tennis, you have a net. In basketball, under the hoop, that round thing, the circle is called a hoop, HOOP, and under the hoop there's also a net, and also there's a net inside a goal in football. So when you score a goal, as Monica said, that's a very common collocation, to score a goal. Then the ball goes into the net, it hits the back of the net. So that similar words, but you score a goal in football, and in other sports, you hit the ball over the net, for example. So, question here I'd like to look at from Joaquin, who, no, not Joaquin, sorry, Joaquin, from Frank, Correa Frank, who asks, is arena the same as stadium? That's an interesting question. As I said before, stadium is a very grand word. It's for rich football clubs or rugby clubs, for example, that have a lot of money to build an impressive building around the field of play or the pitch. So when we speak about football, we don't use the word arena. When we speak about rugby, we don't use the word arena. Arena is a word that can also go outside of football. When the Romans used to fight each other or fight against animals like tigers, etc., they used to fight in an arena. So arena for me is the idea of combat and fighting back in Roman times. Stadium is also a Roman word, but it's used more with sport than arena. You can also use arena for concerts. You can have a concert arena. You can have a conference arena if you go to conferences. So it's just a big place where people gather, whereas stadium, for me, is connected more strongly to sports.
But wouldn't it be also that arena is more indoors and stadium is outdoors?
That's a good question. It could be. It could be. I think someone needs to Google that and tell us before the end of this Facebook Live. So if someone can check that for us, I'm not too sure, but that could be true. Let's see if anyone can tell us.
Yeah, because indoor, I don't know. You're right, because arena, the word comes, it's also in Spanish, it means sand, and it probably comes from the Roman times because they use the arena for its lions and all that. But nowadays, probably has to do with indoors and out, because the stadiums are also outdoors. You know,
but you can. I think you can have closed stadiums. There are a couple of football teams that have closed stadiums, and also in the United States, a lot of the stadiums for football are closed because of the weather, to protect the players against the weather.
The idea is that they're outside.
But I'm not 100% sure. That's an interesting question. I don't know if it is connected with whether it's open or not.
Okay. So let's go to we have bat. Well, this is very easy because bat is, well, for baseball, basically, we don't use, in Spain, we don't know too much about this word because we don't play baseball. It's not a very popular sport. But it's bate, so you know very well. So when sometimes people use this as a weapon, bat, and it also means murciélago.
That's true.
That's where the word Batman comes from. Okay,
that's true.
It's a completely different meaning. Huh? So there's two meanings for this word, at least two meanings. One is bate, and the other one is murciélago. Okay, and then racket is very easy because it's raqueta. So you use for tennis or badminton or ping pong. I don't know.
No, ping pong is bat.
Yeah, that's it.
Ping pong's bat. And if you think about it, if it's a bat, it doesn't have any strings.
Any strings, no tiene cuerdas. Yeah.
If it's just wood, it's a bat. If it has the strings for badminton, tennis, squash, then it's a racket.
Yes.
And club
then
for golf.
Club. This word is funny because you think about club like disco dancing, go to the club, which is a typical English word, club. That we took it in Spanish too. But club actually means garrote and palo de golf. The clubs are palos de golf. So there's the difference with the other ones. So very different things, okay? So club has more than one meaning too. That's why it's confusing because, you have to put the golf clubs, no? So that you know that it's not a club or a disco. Where where Craig used to go dancing. Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever.
In the 90s. In the 90s.
No, in the 80s. In the 80s.
It was in the 80s.
Monica.
Okay.
Yeah. Two verbs, win and beat. Again, this idea of collocation, words that like to go together. And it's a good idea to learn this vocabulary or any vocabulary in groups. So what things do we win? Well, we win a game, for example. We win a competition. We win a prize. We win an award. You can win an award for doing something well. You win a match. You can win the league, La Liga. And you can win a championship. So we would not use beat with those nouns. So when do we use beat? You beat a team. Entonces no se dice win a team. You win a match, you beat a team. You can beat an opponent. You can beat anything else, Monica, that I've forgotten? Beat a team, beat an opponent. You can beat an egg, patar un huevo.
No, but that's another thing.
But that's not sport.
You can you can beat someone. You can beat your father. You can beat your friend. No, but I mean in a team.
And you can beat a record as well.
And you can beat
if you run faster, like Usain Bolt, you beat the world record. You can beat a record. That's another strong collocation.
But there's a problem here that in Spanish we use the same term many times. It's true that beat is vencer, but many times we say nosotros ganamos al equipo contrario. And in this case, in English, you are talking about another team or an opponent, you will use beat and win. That's why it's confusing. And that's why Craig decided to put it on the list, because it's quite clear that it's the problem. So, vencer, we could say vencer, but not always. We don't always use vencer.
Monica said the heartbeats. Yes, that's true. Boom, 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 boom. That's a heartbeat. Of course, you have the beat of the music as well. But that's a noun, Monica. That's not a verb. That's a noun. Be careful of the difference between the nouns and the verbs.
Okay, thanks to you, Maria, because Maria wrote something about thanking us for our resources. We come to explain simple.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for saying thank you.
Yes. Okay. Punch, kick, and also, is this my turn? Okay.
If you want it, you want it?
Yes, I want it. Punch. Okay. I'm going to punch you. If you don't get it, punch is very easy, because punch is un, how do you say in Spanish? Un puñetazo. You go. It has to do with the part of the body that you use. Okay, so you punch with your fist. Fist es el puño, no? Fist. So punch. Punch also, I remember this word I used to use, this punch. It's a cocktail. It's a kind of drink, no? Punch with wine.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yes.
Rum punch.
I suppose it is because when you drink it,
it hits you.
It's because this kind of sugary with alcohol, so you don't think it's going to have any effect on you, and you keep drinking. That's why it's called punch. So kick is with your leg, can be with your knee, or can be with the foot, but it's only that part of the body. It's una patada, kick. And hit can be with the hand. And you can also, before we started, we were talking with Craig about the word slap. The slap on your face. The only slap is bofetada, right? So, but hit can be, well, it's with the hand, but it can be on anything, okay? Mm-hmm. But it also can be an object that hits you. So it doesn't mean that it's not only with the hand.
You can be hit by a car.
Yes. So this is, if there are any questions, please ask.
Yeah, if you have any questions about these words, please let us know. We'll move on now to idioms connected to sport, because we've collected a few idioms that are used outside of the world of sport. For example, taken from tennis, we have this idiom, the ball's in your court. If I say to you, Monica, I'm not going to decide. I've done the work I'm going to do. Now I'm not going to be involved anymore. The ball's in your court. What does that mean? And is there a similar?
There's a very similar idiom in Spanish. That means that I have to take action. I have to do things now. You finish with your thing. Now I have to do something so that usually you can use this when you're working together now, something, no? Mm-hmm. Like, for example, if I go shopping and I say to my husband, okay, here's the shopping, now the ball is in your court and he's planning to cook. So it's, tu pelota está en tu tejado. We don't say court, we say tejado. Tejado is the roof. So it's a different place.
The ball's on your roof.
Yeah. Está en tu tejado. That's what the expression is. There's a question. What is the difference between strike and hit? I want to know, Craig, because I don't know. Strike is like fast, like for bowling, strike.
They can have the same meaning, Antonio. They can be synonyms. You can strike someone and you can hit someone. Hit is more general. It's a more common verb. To hit someone, don't hit me. But to strike someone has exactly the same meaning. However, speaking about sport, and we're speaking about sport, in baseball, you have strike one, strike two, strike three, which means you have 3 chances to hit the ball with your bat. Remember, it's a bat in baseball. And then you're out. So 3 strikes and you're out. And you mentioned something just now, Monica, another use of strike.
Bowling. In bowling, when you hit the 12, all these 12 gadgets that I don't know the name of these things.
The pins, the bowling pins. Yes. If you have a clean strike in bowling, then all of the pins, they're called pins, P-I-N-S, all of the pins fall down. So that's a strike in bowling. But yeah, basically when you speak about hitting someone, you can say strike and hit, but hit is more common. It's used a lot more
than strike. Yeah.
And if you're ever in doubt about which of these words to use, which are more common, if you just put the words in Google, you can always see by the number of hits, the number of hits in Google, which is more used in written English, because Google crawls the web for hits on particular words. So if you put a phrasal verb or an expression with commas, in inverted commas, in Google, it will tell you how popular the words are. You can compare the number of hits. And if you do that with strike and hit, I'm pretty sure that hit will be a lot more used, a lot more common than strike.
But it also, because it has other meanings, like hitting a girl.
To hit on a girl, to hit on someone.
Hit on someone.
Shall we go there? Do you want to go there? To hit on someone? What does that mean? If you hit on someone.
Ligar.
Ligar.
So it has nothing to do. Okay, so nothing to do. Hit a home run. We have another idiom. This comes from baseball, and it's also cricket. Have you ever played cricket?
I used to be forced to play cricket. It's interesting because I went to a grammar school in the UK, and in the summer we had to play cricket in the games lesson, in the physical education lesson, and in the winter we were forced to play rugby. And I always enjoyed rugby, but I hated cricket. So the only way we could play football was to play in our lunch break or after school or before school. We could not play football in the games lesson because they forced us to play cricket, and I hated it. I think it's a very boring game. But some people love cricket, so everyone has a different opinion. But if you hit a home run, then you do something very successfully. Mm-hmm. For example, let's imagine that Monica creates a wonderful course, which she has done, the FITA course, and it's very popular and lots of people sign up for the course and learn lots of English. I could say, hey, Monica, you really hit a home run with your FITA course. congratulations, you hit a home run. It's been incredibly successful. Very successful. So you can use this expression, this idiom, outside of sport.
Because when you hit a home run in cricket, what happens? Or in baseball?
That means because you have different bases, you run to the first base, and then you have to wait. And then you wait until another player hits it. But if you hit it very far or out of the stadium, then you can run around, and that's a home run. So you go from the home base to base 1, base 2, base 3, and then all the way back to the beginning. Then you've hit a home run, which is the best you can do.
To throw in the towel, that's a very easy one. It comes from boxing. This part I didn't know because no, I normally don't watch boxing. I'm sorry, but I'm not too interested. But in Spanish, it's the same, tirar la toalla. So it's very easy. The only difference is that we say in Spanish, tirar la toalla, and in English is to throw in the towel because it refers to the ring, no, to where the boxers are. So that when you throw in the towel, it means that the game is over, that you give up, no? Right? You give up. If you throw in the towel. Never throw in the towel with English. It's a matter of just insisting, keeping it all the way until the very end, and you'll succeed.
If you don't throw in the towel, eventually you will hit a home run.
Exactly.
To take sides, that's a very general idiom because obviously when you play sports, you take a side. You have two sides competing against each other. So in life or in anything, in business, if you take sides, then you go to one side of the argument, for example. So if you're arguing politics, then you take sides with one side. So you go on one kind of team or one group of people to agree with them. And it's very common to hear the negative. Don't take sides. Be fair. You have to be fair. You have to not judge people. Don't take sides. Just have an open mind. So that's a very common idiom, which means to
take sides
become extreme.
It's also Spanish. In the Spanish, we have the same. Tomar partido.
Tomar partido. It's the same.
Yeah. No quiero tomar partido. To be out of someone's league.
That's from baseball.
To be out of someone's league means, I'm not 100% sure. To be out of someone's league is that you are not.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion of Brad Pitt or George Clooney?
They're quite good looking, no? Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, they're out of my league because I was thinking in Spanish we would say to be out of no es como, we say, no están dentro de tu mismo entorno, no? It's completely that you cannot reach them.
I'm a big fan of Michelle Pfeiffer. I would very much like to ask her out to dinner.
Yeah, but it's out of your league.
I think she's out of my league. Yeah, she's definitely out of my league.
Pay attention to you. So
to hit your target is from archery.
The easy ones.
It's just the way.
To hit your target. Of course, to hit your target is very easy.
Well, you do to hit your target, and I'll do the next one. Go on, you take this one, Monica.
Okay, to hit your target is conseguir tu objetivo, no? This is taken from archery. So you just hit your target, and you get what you wanted. Okay, I hit my target because I wanted to do, for example, Facebook Live with Craig, and I finally ended up doing it. Okay, so to hit your target, very easy, and to be out of your depth. Oh,
yeah, this is from swimming or sailing. So anything to do with water, where water can be deep or it can be shallow. So the noun of deep is depth. So if you're out of your depth, then you are not in a comfortable place. For example, I do know a little bit of Spanish and I can speak a little, but I don't have very good grammar in Spanish. And I'm very happy that Monica is here because I feel sometimes out of my depth with Spanish grammar. I don't know enough about it to feel comfortable. And although I could give a presentation in English, I would be out of my depth giving a presentation in Spanish because it's not my native language. So it will be a bit too much for me, a bit too challenging. That's what out of your depth means.
About the equivalent in Spanish, está fuera de mi alcance. Yeah, so it's fuera. So,
but isn't that out of your reach? Alcance is reach, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
If you feel uncomfortable about something, if you feel that you don't have enough ability to do something, you're out of your depth.
Yes, but it could also be fuera de mi alcance also. You know? But I don't know. Maybe somebody else has a better translation than I do. Because sometimes it doesn't occur to me that really. Okay, so
those are the idioms we wanted to look at with you. Please let us know if you have any questions or any comments. We've got a couple of questions for you to think about and answer maybe we still have a few minutes left. So what would you rather do? Would you rather do sport or watch it? I used to play football, but these days I prefer to watch football. And actually I prefer to watch rugby rather than football. I'm quite keen on rugby these days. Do you watch any sport, Monica?
No, I prefer to do sport, but not to watch sports.
And what sports do you do?
I am not doing any sport. I just go for a walk. I used to go to the gym and I used to do weightlifting.
Weightlifting? Wow.
No, but very, very.
But you go trekking sometimes, don't you? In the countryside, you go walking?
Yeah, sometimes we go trekking. But is that considered really a sport? To go walking to them? Sometimes it's not. At least the way I do it, I think is very mild. So very mild. So Gemma says she used to do, or I did archery in the past. Archery is quite nice, actually. I suppose you get very skillful with that.
The way the Japanese do archery is kind of meditation. Is beautiful. They do meditation over archery, and I'm sure that Gemma knows that she used a bow. Es un arco, a bow.
Oh, yeah.
B-O-W, and an arrow, una flecha. Bow and arrow for archery. And Chris plays tennis, golf, and goes swimming. Remember that ing is go. So Chris plays tennis, she plays golf, and goes swimming. Remember, tennis on a tennis court with a net, and golf on a golf course with a club or clubs, golf clubs.
And what about fencing? We never talked about that.
Fencing. How do you say that in Spanish?
Esgrima.
Fencing.
It's called esgrima. It's called esgrima. So you go fencing.
With a sword.
It's kind of old sports. But it's quite nice. I've seen people doing that.
So Pedro does, he goes speed hiking. Remember, Pedro, not do, it's go. Go speed hiking, because hiking is ing. And Myrna goes swimming.
Yes. I play soccer.
Yeah. I like playing soccer. Remember, after remember to use the gerund. I like playing soccer. Or also, you can use the infinitive. I like to play. Yeah. Should we have one more question? What do you think? Do we have time for one more question?
Yes. One more question? I don't know. If are there any questions? I don't see.
Yeah, there's one here. How has the pandemic affected you doing or watching sport? Well, there hasn't been any sport. And you mentioned boxing earlier, Monica. I think today in America there's a boxing match, the first boxing match since the lockdown started. Football has started. Football started in Spain, I think, but with a closed stadium, so no spectators in the stadium. They're playing with behind closed doors at the moment. I haven't done much sport at all. I haven't worked out. I haven't been to the gym. But I heard today.
I tried at the beginning.
Sorry?
That I tried at the beginning, but then
me too.
I gave up.
I gave up. Yeah. I threw in the towel.
Yeah, I threw in the towel too because it was extremely boring.
Yeah,
I thought it was boring because I was doing Zumba with the videos and all that, and then I was doing some walking and. But I don't know that because you were. I remember I was walking on the same place because you cannot walk outside. So just would that be to go walking? You cannot go walking. You say ing with go, but I didn't go walking. I was just doing this walking.
But you can go walking You can go walking now in Madrid, right? You're in phase 2.
Now, what I mean before you couldn't go out, so you had to stay in the same place. I just walk here in this room. I just watched the video, and it was just walking, standing, walking. That's it.
Chris's son played rugby in the past. Yeah, I played rugby also in the past. I played at school and I played after school, and I enjoy watching rugby very much.
Rugby is quite nice. It's the nice version of American football because American football is quite rude.
In American football, they keep stopping. They stop and then they get together in a group and speak and then they stop. And rugby is more fluid. It flows more. It's more entertaining. Miriam goes dancing tango. She goes dancing. She dances tango. That's fantastic. Lockdown. What does lockdown mean? Is it cierro or cierra? Cierro,
no,
isn't
confinamiento.
it? Confinamiento.
Confinement.
Confinement.
There's another word, but it's confinamiento. Well,
this is a nice way to finish. Monica says she prefers watching us than sports. Thank you, Monica. And I prefer doing this. I prefer doing this than exercising. So I think we agree.
Okay.
So are we doing this next week also?
Of course.
Great.
So we'll be talking about idioms. I think funny idioms.
So join us next week. Monica, before we go, say a couple of things about your website.
Okay, Blog de Inglés and Blog para Aprender Inglés. Remember, Blog para Aprender Inglés is the old one. Blog del Inglés is the new one, and you'll find lots of resources about everything under the sun. Phrasal verbs, a motivation also to study idioms. And also Skype lessons or Zoom lessons with native teachers, and many of them know Spanish or are bilingual. And, you can find all the information on that site, epi.com.
If you felt a bit out of your league in this half an hour of Facebook Live because of the level of English, then you can go to Monica for private lessons and hit a home run with her classes.
Yeah.
And also we have free courses on mansioningles.com and lots of material to improve your English. You can listen to our podcast that's also free on inglespodcast.com. That's every Sunday we publish an episode. And if you're interested in buying courses, we have a variety of audio courses and other courses here, store.mansioningles.net. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Until next time. Thank you very much. Take care.
Until next time. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
And stay safe. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.